Well, after most of the motor swap, it's gotten far along enough. Distributor's back in, motor's pretty much back in. Old school AJ rebuilt the carburetor today, just a little while ago, while I was putting stuff on and putting fluids in it, well, oil anyway. Wanted to double check to make sure I didn't have anything coming out of my modified 5-year-old oil pan. So we dumped a little fuel down in the carburetor and we're going to try to start this thing. So we got it kind of crudely, got headers on it. I'm going to get exhaust coming out of that hole, which is going to suck.
Oh, I'll get it coming out of this hole too.
And all we're doing for a starter, it's a little starter switch, and this jumper wire is to the hot side on the distributor. And we're going to hope for the best here.
I think timing may be a little off. Check to see if we're 180 out on the distributor. I'll turn it back on when we try it again. Alright, swapped all the wires 180 out. Try to give her a little I'd say that runs first V8 I've had running in this car. So we can count that, right? Yeah.
So just keep putting her together. But that's a big milestone. Ah! What I've attempted to do is replace the factory instrument cluster. So this thing had a tach, which worked. Got its signal from the wasted spark coil. No longer have. Speedometer off the 3 speed sensors that it no longer has. The fuel gauge off the fuel sender we no longer have. The temperature gauge for the engine, which we no longer have, the engine or the temperature sensor. So we're doing another one. The only thing that I had hoped to retain off using that this one still has is left and right indicator, the high beam indicator. So that's kind of the only thing. So what I did, I took the clear plastic off, and there was another little black plastic thing on here sitting over there somewhere. I made a template of cardboard. And I made this out of aluminum. let's see here. I goofed it up right here because when I was welding these little tabs on, apparently I forgot to turn the gas on my welder. So it took me a second to figure that out. But once I had it, not the aluminum itself, but I'm doing aluminum. I tossed around the idea of painting it, but I'm blocking off like the vents and where the old AC control was, all with an aluminum panel. So I'm leaving it aluminum. What I got here is everything on here I bought off of eBay. So I got 2 little indicators for left and right. I got the high beam indicator. This fuel gauge is like pretty cheap. It has 3 wires and a little adjuster on here, so I guess you can adjust it. And then this speedometer actually gets its signal from a GPS sensor. So it's still in the box over there. And then this is just a digital readout for 12 volts. I thought it was going to have a bar on it, but I guess not. So I'm, like I said, doing this. I have some more gauges that I'm going to use, but I'm not mounting them to this. I have a temperature gauge and a oil pressure gauge, and also one of those 5-inch monster tacks, just because I have it. So they're mounted in the car. The 2 smaller gauges are mounted on the pillar. I got an aftermarket one from somewhere. I've been carrying around for right many years. So we're gonna use it. What I did, since I didn't need to put the ECU back in, I took one of the connectors that goes to the engine from the ECU and cut it off, just so that way I could use it to be able to pull this in and out if I need to. So I actually only have 6 leads on here. So, and I pinned them out accordingly on the other side. So I still got a long ways to go. I'm just gonna keep pecking away at this. Since I've been getting frustrated with the wiring, as much as I hate it, I decided to move on to something else that I probably hopefully wouldn't disgust as much. So I'm doing the exhausts. So I pulled the fuel tank out to put the fuel cell in to make room for the exhaust, actually. The fuel tank normally goes here. Just a weird gas tank, so whatever, it's gone. These mufflers I actually found at my local transfer station where I take my trash. Somebody took them off a Mustang, but it's good enough to use for this, whatever we're doing here. So, and then the rest of it is left over from a dual exhaust kit for a Dakota. A buddy of mine bought, he only ended up using one side or a piece or 2 or something or other, and so I ended up with it. So, all I got here is a little, it's a 45 at 45, take it down the center. So it's only like halfway welded right now. I gotta pull it down and finish welding it. And I didn't weld the muffler to it yet because I gotta finish welding the rest of it, and then I'll put it all back together, weld around the muffler, because I can actually get my my MIG wand in there. See, I got plenty of room to get it up and around there. So, but as you see coming down here, another 45 with a expansion joint that's still a little warm because I just finished it. And then almost a 45 going into a V-band clamp. Then a piece of straight going up to the header. So I'm gonna end up pulling this, finish welding it, and then pulling the header, finish welding the header, and I have a piece, I guess it's like an extra oxygen sensor or exhaust temperature, EGT supposed to be, that's on the header. I gotta weld that up, so header's gotta come off anyway. And there's just one more thing down here to do. That'll be getting done. I also gotta put the plug for the neutral safety switch since it won't fit anymore. But that's what the exhaust looks like. Coming along. Get this thing fit, but this car finished, we can move on to the next one.